All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Well, welcome to the Around for the Weekend. It's powered by Belly Up Sports. And I want to thank you for joining me. I got to adjust my light real quick because it's kind of dark. Here we go. Oh, my. That's bright. All right, I'll back it up a little bit. All right, so tonight, we're going to do some NFL, plenty of NFL, and I'm going to bring in my guest.
I'm back with sound.
Well, I can hear you.
I know.
Schmuck.
Listen, I wouldn't say I would call you a schmuck. I mean, like, that happens before occasionally with people, like, when it comes to technical issues. I actually have, like, my new microphone. This is actually one of my last shows in my current location. I'm actually switching to a sort of a studio style, green screen, the whole 9 yards. This is my last one with the old room background with my safety hatchet. It's nice. There, whatever. Yeah, there it is, right there. And I got my life-size Stormbreaker up there on the wall, everything else. But yeah, I'm switching to a sort of a studio setting starting end of next week, so it should be a fun time. I think for the live streams, our debut with it. But yeah, I'm great to be back, Ryan. I am thanking all things holy that my nightmare of a season for my team is extinct, and and there's not enough Jack Daniels in the world that's going to make this offseason any easier, but it still will be easier than the last offseason.
Yeah, the same for my Jets. I mean, this offseason is going to be much, much better, but we'll get into that in just a couple moments. But first things first, because this is a beer drinking show. What you drinking tonight?
All right, well, in honor of you, my friends, because you are one of the beer aficionados that I refer to when it comes to anything, awesome. I broke out the Holy Grail today, Heady Topper.
Nice.
I broke that out for you. It was either between that or Back East Brewing Double Scooped, which is one of my all-time favorites as well. This one I don't have to pour though. This one it literally tells me to drink from the can. So
you can drink that straight from the can, and it tastes it's just as awesome as it would be in a glass.
And my backup is the grapefruit flavored Bud Light Seltzer.
Nice. I bought a 12-pack of Wrench from Industrial Brewworks. So this is the
nice.
That
is a good beer. That's a good beer.
Don't get deceived by the can because it's pink. It's really good.
Wrench is a good beer. Right.
Yeah, it's a Northeast IPA. It's delicious. So
anything Northeast IPA is always my go-to. I also love New England IPAs and American IPAs. Those are my go-tos as well.
Well, I was hoping to jaunt up to my friends at Bolton Landing Brewing Company today.
Cheers, buddy.
To the weekend. Cheers.
Towards NFL teams that they may not disappoint us next year.
Oh, please, dear Lord.
And to an incredible weekend of football. We literally from tomorrow at 1 o'clock till Monday night at about 1 a.m. We're going to have nothing but football. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, exactly. So before we get into the discussion, I want to tell you I wanted to jump up to Bolton Landing Brewing this afternoon. Unfortunately, it would literally take me 2 hours from my house up to Bolton Landing and then back down, and it would be like right against the Showtime shopper or starting the show. They released a new brew called Luke, I Am Your Lager.
That's incredible.
It's got dueling lightsabers. It's a dark Czech Pilsner. I wanted to get it for tonight, but unfortunately, it would just be too long to go up and down. But I think next show I'll definitely have it for sure.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not a big Pilsner guy. Ironically, my favorite cheap beer is Miller Lite, but regular Pilsners I got to be in the mood for because for some reason there's just too much to it. It like with an IPA, I get that crisp, I get that bitterness, I get what I love with it. With a Pilsner, it's almost like too much. Like my dad loves craft Pilsners. That is like his big thing.
I love craft Pilsner, craft Kolsch's. Those are my jam.
I will do
time of year too.
For me, it's basically IPAs, imperial stouts, lagers, pale ales, and then the cheap stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I do a seasonal. So this time of year, I would be drinking stouts, porters, dark lagers, dark IPAs. Come springtime, because it takes so long for spring to come up in the great Northeast, especially New York State. Pilsners, Kolsch's, lagers, and same thing with summer. Like try to do wheat beers in the summer. Last time you were on, I had my friend. I had from Slickfin Brewing, great beer company. They make a watermelon wheat, which is outstanding. It tastes like watermelon. You taste like you're biting into a watermelon.
A buddy of mine who owns Witch Doctor Brewing over in Southington. If you're ever down there, go check him out. My buddy Josh owns it. They have a strawberry milkshake IPA.
Okay.
And so does up north closer to you. What is it? God, I can't even think of the name of it right now.
What's the name of the town?
It's near Swan. It's near Swan Lake. It's right near
Schroon Lake.
No, Swan Lake. It's up by Berkshire Brewing.
Okay.
Or Adirondack Brewing. Sorry.
Okay.
It's up in that area. It's over by Woodstock.
Is it? Oh, by Woodstock. Okay, so it's down. That's downstairs.
Trout Town, USA. That's the town. I can't remember the name of it though.
Okay. All right. I'll have to look it up and definitely make a trip down there. Get some beers.
Honestly, the food at that brewery, they're like, "Oh, it's the best brewery in this town." I'm like, "That's great, but your beer sucks." I then what killed me is 1.5 miles down the road is Adirondack Brewing, which they're double, which I can't remember the name of it. It's like Rabid Raccoon or something. It's incredible. Yeah. So I was like so annoyed that we didn't go to the distillery or we didn't go to Adirondack Brewing. We ended up going to this one. I was honestly, the best thing about that was their fried pickles. That was literally the fried cauliflower. That was it. So everything else was atrocious. Even the fried cauliflower wasn't completely cooked through all the way, which is awful.
That's disappointing. That's disappointing. But we're drinking some fine beers right now, and I just ate before I showed up. Did some takeout tonight, which was superb. Nice farm table restaurant. It was awesome.
Yeah, my mom made. We are the chili kings of our family. Mine is very hot. Mine's a Cajun style chili. Hers. So we're experimenting tonight. We're taking her recipe and we're putting a pound of Lombardi's out of Waterbury up by me sausage in it with the ground beef. Nice. We're going to see how that tastes with it. My chili is, so I haven't eaten yet, obviously. All I've had today was a sandwich, a Gatorade bar, and some tater tots. That's it. And not in that order because,
not in that order.
Yeah, it was a late start for me today. So
that's all right. Hey, sometimes we need those late starts.
Yeah, I need one. I need 4 straight days of ridiculous work, so I'm happy it's the weekend.
Yep. I had myself a pretty interesting week at my job. So first, it's only week 1 of 52. So
oh boy,
do 1 more weeks to go.
Oh, don't get me started about that. All right, let's get rock and roll and talk some football.
Let's talk about sports.
Let's talk about sports. Yeah, get all my mind off
sports. So we're going to talk about the postmortem for each of our respective team seasons. Jared is an Eagles fan. I'm a Jets fan. So since you're my guest, I'm going to let you do the honors. And let's talk about your Eagles.
All right.
What the heck?
Okay, so I have a weird theory here, and I hope I'm speaking this into existence, and it's not just our GM being a goddamn moron. Excuse my language. Sorry, big fella. I know I'm the resident swear like a sailor every time I come on here. I think your show jumps a rating from rated E to rated R in about 30 seconds when I come on.
Explicit tag.
Oh yeah, I earned him his expletive tag literally just for me coming on. I'm hoping the Eagles, after they barely beat Ben DiNucci in that atrocious Dallas Cowboys team that showed up for that Sunday night game, that I think they realized after the bye, it seemed like everything had changed. The culture changed. The offense was dumbed down. It was awful. I have a feeling Doug and Howie and Jeff met and they're saying, hey, listen, we're going to put on a show. but this team isn't winning a Super Bowl. Where we might make the playoffs, but we're going to get smoked by Brady or whoever we play first round.
Mm-hmm.
So why not throw? We may piss off Carson, we may piss off some of the vets, but we'll tell them afterward, like this is the necessary evil, like 2016 was to get this 2017 team, or in this case, hopefully the 2021 team. The Eagles now have a number 6 overall pick, which I either hope will take a Jamar Chase, a Devontae Smith, a Greg Rousseau. I really don't want Patrick Surtain. Kev has told me multiple times this kid gets smoked like a bad piece of Gouda. It's awful. Ooh. He has a tendency to get mossed and or smoked a lot, and it's not a good look, especially for a team that had to deal with Darius Slay, the best cornerback we've had since Asante Samuel getting beat up by DK Metcalf. So my next thing would be then for Philadelphia is, well, one, draft a receiver, or the best mock draft I've seen so far was actually by Elliot Shore Parks of 94 WIP in Philadelphia. As much as he drives me freaking nuts with his takes, he had us taking the cornerback from I can't remember the guy's name right now, from South Carolina in the second round, us taking Jamar Chase with the first, or Devontae Smith, whoever was available, with the 6th pick. I love this. Either receiver's good. They're a certified number 1. They'll be perfect to work with Rieger, Fulgham, Watkins, and Greg Ward going forward. Alshon Jeffries restructured his contract. That's just so we can trade him. Sean Jackson might retire. Zach Ertz, it's about a 25% chance he's coming back. Mm-hmm. But with the quarterback, this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles may have just played themselves into getting a second first-round pick with dealing Jalen Hurts. Now, everyone's like, Jared, they just drafted him. But they did this with Josh Rosen 2 years ago when they drafted Murray. Right. They've done it with the Falcons drafted Brett Favre, hoping he'd be their franchise quarterback. They sent him to Green Bay. Steve Young was drafted by a team whose name escapes me right now, and he was then traded to San Fran. Top drafted quarterbacks get traded all the time, or at least occasionally. And I think this is the case because, one, you can't deal Wentz's contract. 2, Carson Wentz doesn't want to leave Philadelphia. Obviously. Yeah. I swear, those rumors that came out were spread. This is where, Ryan, as we get deeper and deeper into the media industry, it's one thing I've learned more and more, is that until it happens, it's not where there's a smoke, there's fire. Because I swear ESPN's got such a big enough axe to grind with the Philadelphia Eagles for what they did on Sunday night that anything that comes out from ESPN, especially that little weasel Adam Schefter, I don't care. I'm Team Carson. You couldn't tell? Check my Twitter profile picture. It's hysterical. It's my Ratchet Carson picture, and it's just a funny. If you can screen, I don't know if you want to screen grab it or whatever. If not, go check out my Twitter page. It's at Jared, at Billy Up Jared. Carson's my guy. And I think this year the Eagles even said, Doug Peter's like, yeah, we're going to build the offense around Carson. Keyword, he said Carson, not Jalen. I love Jalen Hurts, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I honestly, if they did choose Jalen over Carson, I would be a little upset because Carson's my boy. I'd be demanding Fanatics to return the money that they gave me, or at least send me a Miles Sanders jersey to replace the Carson Wentz jersey I bought in October, because my one that I've had for the last 4 years got a little too small because of me actually putting on muscle instead of just being skinny fat, which is a real thing, by the way. But my biggest thing with the Eagles is, one, get a corner, develop Kayvon Wallace, Marcus Epps, all these boys. Yep, that's my picture right there. Ratchet Carson. That's Carson Wentz 2021. No prisoners.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. He'd be like my boy Donnie Jones, the Eagles former punter, comes out with a do-rag. Yeah, no. Seriously, the Eagles. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. The Eagles offense is not that hard. The Eagles team is not that big of a fix. They're a middle linebacker. That's Alex Singleton. The kid played out of his mind. The Calgary Stampeders. That's right. CFL, man. Woo! Singleton, honestly, to me, proved he's a ferocious animal at middle linebacker. He's fast. He can blitz. He can cover. I do think they should get another linebacker in the second round. Like, if they're not going to go get a corner. Free agency is going to be key for this team. If they can go out and get a Galladay, then hell, go get offensive and defensive help instead of a receiver. If you go get a Galladay or any of these other free agent guys. But
what's the cap situation like for the Eagles?
It's atrocious, but it's not as bad as New Orleans. New Orleans is the worst by a mile. Cutting Alshon Jeffrey, restructuring Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox, letting go of some of these guys who just are not worth the cap space. Jason Peters not being here anymore is definitely going to help because we found our tackle of the future in Jordan Melita, who, fun fact, actually was I think it was top 10 this year in tackles for Pro Football Focus rating, which is pretty for a guy who didn't play football until he got to America. He was a rugby star in Australia. And then we ended up having like a ton of good offensive linemen this year. It's just our rotation of tackles was atrocious. Philadelphia's biggest fix: 1, get the offensive line healthy, keep Carson upright. 2, make sure Miles Sanders is happy and healthy. 3, fix that tight end situation. Dallas Goedert's the feature. Zach Ertz this year proved to me one thing and one thing only: he's a diva, and he is not a number 1 tight end anymore. His lack of production. Number 1 tight ends get open when they're double coverage. That's George Kittle, Darren Waller, even his teammate Dallas Goedert, who has caught multiple balls in double coverage. Fix the receiver situation. Let Jeffrey and Jackson go. I love Deshaun Jackson. He's one of my childhood heroes, but that dude needs to go. He hurt himself. He literally got sore from that touchdown run, that huge touchdown against Dallas. Oof. That was the perfect way to cap his career. Just put it there. Let him retire. He's the all-time leader in touchdowns of 60 or 60 plus or more. That's a record you can hold and hang your hat on. He's a Hall of Famer in my book. Honestly, he's the best big boy. He is what Tyreek Hill should hope to be. Except Tyreek has a healthy quarterback his entire career so far. Right. Secondary, get Darius Slay some damn help. That pass rush is great. I don't think they need to go draft a Greg Rousseau. I would love them to, but Cox, Sweat, all these guys across the entire front line. The Eagles' defensive line was the one thing keeping them in games. Alex Singleton, Darius Slay, I guess keep riding. Jalen Mills, by the way, should stay at safety. That man was second in the team in tackles. Played incredible around the ball all year. He's a perfect fit for them. They just need to fix their outside linebackers and get 2 damn corners. Nikhil Roby become a failure. Avonte Maddox should go back to the nickel and get another big physical guy who can run, because you are going to play at least 3 or 4 top 10 receivers this year, minimum. So, but Slay was a good pickup. I think it was the best one we've gotten so far. But yeah, no, the Eagles, it's not as big of a fix as you think. It feels like 2016 to me, where there's a lot of holes that got to be filled, but the supporting cast is there already.
Right.
Now let's take some big swings. That's basically what it feels like to me.
Okay. So
I do want to talk about your Jets though, because this is going to be fun.
All right. So first thing they did was they got rid of their coach. That needed to be done. How does freedom feel, my man? Seriously, how does freedom feel? Not as good as you think.
I mean, listen, if any team could get Eric Bieniemy, except for us, because I would love for him to coach Philadelphia instead of Doug Peterson. I hate Doug Peterson, but if there's anybody who I'd want to coach the Jets, it's Eric Bieniemy.
Yes, I mean there's several coaches I have at the top of my list in terms of the Jets. Number 1, Eric Bieniemy. He's top 3. Number 2, I want to say, what was that? Saleh from San Francisco? Robert Saleh?
Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always nervous about defensive coaches unless you have an elite offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. Defensive coordinator scared the hell out of me. You have to be basically Sean McDermott, who has an elite offensive coach around him, and then has like so it's
Dabble's another coach I have in mind too.
Please get him out of the ACC. Allow my boys to begin the reign of terror again.
No, not Dabo Sweeney. Brian Dabble from the Bills.
I mean, even Dabo Sweeney's name's been pushed around for coaches.
I think he's going to stay. I think he likes being at Clemson too much.
I mean, he's not going to have an all. I mean, I'll tell you later, but Clemson's got a rude awakening next season for multiple teams, not just Miami.
Right. Another guy in my top 5 or top 3, Matt Campbell.
Ooh.
Matt Campbell from Iowa State.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. He's a culture changer. He helped change the culture at Iowa State. I know he's an Ohio guy. Dream job is Ohio State, but I think
they're not getting rid of Ryan Day though. So
no, Ryan Day.
You're looking for a Joe Judge type. I mean, not Joe Judge. You're looking for a Joe Judge, Matt Rule kind of type, where a guy who comes in, instantly fixes a fractured culture. Yeah. Even as much as I hate admitting this, what Doug Peterson did in 2016. You want a guy who's going to come in, shake everything up, and get a good vibe in here.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I know Gase was liked by a lot of the players. Sam
Really?
Darnold liked him. Probably reasons I know me. I know. I had that same look too. I'm like, really?
Okay, so I played high school ball. I played intramural ball. I have a lot of friends who played college ball.
Mm-hmm.
I even know some guys who played in the pros for a little bit. The biggest issue is every word I've heard from insiders, from players on like interviews and everything is Adam Gase sometimes seems to destroy talent. And there's a guest
That's his problem. He's likable, but he destroys talent.
One of his biggest victims who ended up winning a Super Bowl with my Eagles. I'm trying to reach out to this certain player that I'll reveal later because he was one of the biggest victims of Adam Gase's BS.
J.J.?
Yeah, J.J. I may or may not have a shot at getting him on interview. I'm not saying anything yet, but there's a certain way I might be able to get him to come on. The esports thing definitely be a big thing to talk to because that's what he does. He's a professional FIFA player now.
Wow.
Yeah. And Ryan Tannehill is the other example. We put Tannehill on the ground. He goes to Tennessee. He's a top 10 quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah. Ask any Miami player like Mike Gesicki. Who was a second round pick.
Devontae freaking Parker.
Devontae Parker. Exactly. Yeah. All these guys.
Xavier Howard's another one, too. Like, the guy's first team All-Pro this year.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, he's a nice guy, but he wrecks cultures.
He's also fucking weird, Ryan. I'm sorry. He's so crazy. Those eyes scare the hell out of me.
Well, I'm going to be discussing it. Making my last appearance on Downtown Jets, Downtown Jets podcast in a little while after this. So we're talking a little bit of that. But yeah, a lot of it, the press conferences were just bizarre. Bizarre.
It's not like Belichick, where Belichick actually does it. This guy's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it got some sort of vibe. But yeah, the culture needs to be fixed. So first things first, get a head coach. Second things second, sign Marcus May long term because that guy balled out this year.
Pro Bowl safety.
Balled out. When Jamal Adams left, he filled in nicely. It's like they didn't miss him. I mean, obviously, Jamal Adams has the ability to change games. He did a lot of that when he was at the Jets.
Jamal Adams' biggest weakness is that he can't cover that well. He's a big coverage guy. He's a breathing. I know. Them as a combination was elite, but the problem is if Jamal Adams would be the best safety in football by a mile if he just knew how to cover.
Right. And wouldn't be such a cancer in the locker room. But sorry.
I don't know, Seattle's not complaining.
Oh, they are because they're winning. All right.
So you lose that many games, like you tell me.
Yeah. New head coach, sign Marcus May long term. I've seen some mock drafts, and some have the Jets taking Penei Sewell, but the thing is, he plays left side. He's played right side, but he played right side in high school. He went to the left side in college. If you're a right-handed quarterback, guess where the money is if you're a lineman?
Left side,
left tackle. Who's there right now? Mekhi Becton. Arguably, I think he should be Rookie of the Year, but it's just gonna be Justin Herbert and. Offensive linemen never get up. They don't get props as they should.
I will offer a rebuttal to that because I think you guys should take Sewell. That was my rock. I'll reveal my mock draft. My first two picks are Lawrence and Sewell.
I personally would like Sewell because you can have him in the right. If you can convince him to play the right side, you'll have bookend tackles for a decade to keep whoever playing quarterback next year upright.
Think Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson was a left tackle all his entire career at Oklahoma, and then switched over to right because of Jason Peters. Yeah, he missed a step for the first couple of weeks when he was drafted, but by 2015, the dude was an all-pro left right tackle.
Yeah. So they got draft capital working for them. They got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a third, 2 fourths. They've got a lot of draft capital to use. They've also going to have $90 to $95 million in cap room after they shed a bunch of contracts. They got a bunch of guys who had a one-and-done deal. They signed a 1-year contract, or they signed a 3-year contract, but they had. What about
Perriman? By the way, I didn't mean to interrupt, but what about Perriman? Rashad Perriman, because I love him.
I think they bring him back, just because they need depth at wide receiver.
He's one of the 10 fastest guys in the league, and on top of that, he's not a locker room cancer. He's a very good locker room guy.
No, he's a good guy from what I understand. But,
I think you should cut that little bitch Denzel Mims though. I hate Denzel Mims.
That guy, I like him. I hope he gets going next year. they got to answer the question about Sam Darnold, though.
Also true.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do. Either they're going to trade him to like a team like the Colts, who need a quarterback, Pittsburgh, who needs to think about the contingency plan after Big Ben retires, or the Saints, who Drew Brees is retiring. I think he would fit perfect with Sean Payton in that system.
I have a couple things about that. I think you guys should keep Darnold. I think you should. I think the last 3 games have shown the kid can ball when he's given a shot. 2, I think Adam Gase stunted that kid's growth so bad. The poor kid
did. That's the biggest accusation I had against him was that he stunted Sam Darnold. He had so much promise after his rookie year, especially during the game he played against Houston. We dueled against Deshaun Watson and went head to head against Aaron Rodgers and almost beat the both of them. I mean, that showed so much promise, and then Adam Gase comes along and he wrecks him. He loses his confidence because I live in New York. I get all this. I get all the New York. I get all New York sports, like Giants, Jets, whatever,
and Bills.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, that's my Super Bowl pick. Don't get me started about that.
Okay.
Hey, Ryan, don't come at me, man. I've been a Josh Allen believer since like the second he got drafted. So
understood. But every game this season, you see him during the press conference, and he just looks worse and worse and worse. In week 1, it was like, yeah, we gotta go back to the tape room. We gotta watch tape. We gotta figure out what's going on. And by week 13, he was like, blink twice if you've been kidnapped, Sam. I mean, that's how it felt. He looked like a defeated man.
Well, I think that's what happens when you have, 1, the biggest weirdo in the NFL as your head coach, besides Chip Kelly. 2, I honestly think I love Sam Darnold's talent. He's an improviser. Improvisers are always my favorite type of quarterback. I don't like scramblers. I like guys who can get outside the pocket, the Aaron Rodgers, the Carson Wentz, the Josh Allen types, and just Patrick Mahomes, obviously, and just yeet it. And that's why I love Sam Darnold. You've got him speed, guys. As much as I don't like Denzel Mims' character and his attitude, I love his speed, and I love Rashad Perriman's speed. You get another receiver. Maybe you get the kid out of Minnesota in the second round, or you maybe go get or maybe you get a guy in free. Maybe you guys go pay for a Galladay, a big guy.
That's what the thing is looking to. They're gonna take some of that money cap space. They're gonna
get this kid weapons.
Get some weapons on offense. Get some try to spend some cash on Joe Tooney. Sign him at right. Put him at right guard. You got guard. You got Cam Clark, who didn't play at all this last year. He was a 5th round pick or 6th round. Yeah, 5th round pick. He didn't play at all this year. Put him at left guard to replace Alex Lewis. There's your line right there.
Yeah, I know. And here's the thing: the Jets, Bills, and Dolphins have a weird opportunity. If the Patriots don't figure out the quarterback situation by next year, I don't think they're going to recover for a while, because I don't think Bill's going to want to go for 2 or 3 more years of developing a kid, and unless this kid's like the messiah of quarterbacks. Now, if I think, unlike Miami, you guys have the appeal of they have a appeal of a big city too, but the problem is with Miami, I think they're kind of handicapped by Tua. I am not a big Tua guy. I have said since last year's draft, the best quarterback in that draft was Justin Herbert. I look like a freaking genius now, which I am, so it's no surprise. When it comes to football, I'm a damn football nerd. And what I see on film is that Herbert can make any – Herbert to me is what is the same kind of prototype as a Mahomes. He's a Mahomes, a little bit of Mahomes, a little bit of Wentz, a little bit of Russell Wilson, and a little bit of Brett Favre. It's a lot of improv and sling.
And arm strength. That kid is strong.
He's got a bazooka. And the thing is also, he has no fear. No fear with a quarterback is deadly. It is absolutely deadly. Brett Favre made a career out of it. Carson Wentz had his best season of his career off of it. Patrick Mahomes has made himself an icon off of it. Yep. Having no fear of a quarterback position, just being able to let it rip and go. Matthew Stafford's played 15, 12 years in the league off of that one thing, the fact that he's got a cannon and has no fear. He's another guy who I think a team who's kind of in the middle, like a Washington, who doesn't really want to draft a franchise guy yet, would be a great fit. I think you should keep Darnold one, because I think the Saints are my sleeper team to get Jalen Hurts, by the way. That's my sleeper team to get Hurts.
Interesting.
Because he beat them. Sean Payton probably sat there like, okay, if he's available, we're going to go get this kid. Because you maybe have Taysom Hill start for 1 year, 2 years maybe. You have Jalen develop into this lethal passer, which he has the ability to be. He's got to work on his ball placement. Jalen Hurts' ball placement is atrocious. He makes this year's Carson Wentz look elite from his ball placement. And I'm a film guy, so I look for little things like where the ball is put, where the defenders are. Quick side note, the jump ball to Rieger in last week's game against Washington, if that ball is led by put in the right spot, that's a touchdown instead of a pass interference call. Rieger had, I think it was Kendall Fuller, smoked. 3-yard separation, he had to throw behind him. But I'm saying is with the Jets, my biggest thing is you guys are not big of a rebuild as some of these other teams are because you guys have a good, like Philadelphia, you guys have a good base.
Yeah, they have plenty of capital in the draft, plenty of cap space.
You guys are a 9-7 team that makes the playoffs as a wild card next year. That's my prediction.
I hope so.
You guys are the 7th seed. You'll probably get smoked by a Buffalo or a Kansas City, and then the year after, you guys will be a 10-6. Possibly.
It would be a step forward from where we've been, where Jets fans have been for the last decade.
You guys are this year's Miami, but you'll actually make the playoffs.
I hope so. All right, so let's move on, Jared, to Wild Card Weekend. Now, I was watching along yesterday, watching Korner Booth pregame live. Check it out Thursdays at 6:30.
That was a fun show. I think our we didn't actually scar our intern, thank God. But the poor kid.
That's good.
The poor this kid lives 20 miles from me, by the way, which is hysterical. I probably have driven past his home because I do so many work. I do so much work at Fairfield. I've probably driven past his house before, knowing me. But like this poor kid, his first day is Korner Booth pregame.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to rant cussing out Adam Scheffner. Kevin shotguns a White Claw or what the hell he was drinking.
He spills the seltzer all over his pants.
Makes about 4 or 5 innuendos between you and Mike Berline in the comments. It's just a nightmare. I'm clocked by the 30.
I had to do it, though. I had to make some innuendos. If
people couldn't tell, I was wasted by the 30th minute because I drank a mini margarita in a can, and those things are absolutely deadly. I had I don't know if you've ever heard of Skull Hammer by Fitch.
I have, yeah.
It's my second favorite beer of all time. I actually prefer it over Heady Topper. It is a brutal beer, but it's delicious. Mm-hmm. And it's me and my brother-in-law, or soon-to-be brother-in-law's like beer of choice. It's a tradition. It's the first beer we crack on Christmas Day. It's an incredible beer. I am reaching out to Fitch actually this week to say, hey, listen, Skull Hammer and Hardcore Chimera are 2 of my top 10 favorite beers of all time. Please sponsor our podcast. We will flaunt your gear everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys are definitely but yeah, no. So like this weekend's gonna be insane. I'm excited.
It's football.
It's just playoff football.
And on top of NFL wild card, Monday night, get the national get the Natty.
Oh my God, Kevin's been going nuts for about 20. I just want Kevin to get his national title again. Between him and Cruz, the two of them with Mac Jones, I've been hearing about. Listen, Alabama's like my proxy second, third team. I root for them when my Hurricanes, the Bearcats aren't on. But like, holy crap! Like, I also just despise Ohio State as much as you do. So like,
thank you. Yeah, I mean, part of me wants Alabama to lose to be knocked down a peg, but the other part of me is like, Ohio State again? God, no.
But also, I want to talk about one quick thing on that is that because we've dealt with a dynasty like this in the pros with New England.
Yep.
Honestly, Alabama, for being the dominant pros they have, their fans are the classiest like front runners I've ever seen.
I gotta tell you a story. So,
go for it.
Speaking of Alabama, so back in 2016, I spent 2 weeks in the South. I spent 1 week in Outer Banks, North Carolina, family vacation. Love Outer Banks. Didn't get to go this year. It's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a great time, but unfortunately, we'll have to stay until next summer. But then I got dropped off with my parents in Norfolk. Hopped a plane, went to Atlanta, visited one of my best buddies, Sean, who works for UPS. Spent a week down there, and we went to watch a Braves game. Okay. I saw the Braves at Turner Field, old Turner Field, before we went to SunTrust Park. So
I miss Turner Field so much. I hate the new stadium.
I haven't been in the new stadium yet. I want to go. Yeah, I'd love to go. I've been to visit my buddy anyway because I love Atlanta. I've thought about moving there. It's a great town.
I have a friend. Yeah, I actually might move there. Honestly, like it's one of the cities I was looking at. Them, Miami, San Antonio, Houston. Like, yeah, I'm definitely moving down south. Get me out of the Northeast.
Me, Atlanta, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, or Nashville.
Yeah.
So, because I went to Nashville in 2012, I almost didn't come back.
that's how Kevin is. Me and Kevin had a scheme about getting jobs down there and just set up the Korner Booth studio down there.
There you go. There we go. And if you make room for around for the weekend and no credentials required, feel free. Yeah. But
all right, so let's talk
anyway, the story. So Atlanta, 2016, we're at the Mets game, Mets Braves. I wore a crimson polo. It didn't have Alabama's logo on it. It just had the Russell Athletic logo on it. And I'm watching the game. This guy looks at me and goes, "Hey!" I'm like, what? I look down and he goes, "War Eagle!" I'm like, I don't even live here.
Yo,
I just wore a shirt. It just says crimson. I'm sorry.
You got to tell this story to Kevin at some point.
I will. Yeah,
oh
if I'm ever on Korner Booth, I'll tell that story.
Okay, so I think we have to schedule time for you this month because you have to
schedule tea time. Let's go.
We'll schedule a Ryan McCarthy appearance finally.
We'll talk some hockey anyway because I'm head of hockey.
Yeah. I know. I mean, we talked with Shannon, but our show got lost to the ages of that. That was a rough show.
I heard about that.
Yeah, that's why. I yelled at everyone in my house about the internet usage, and I realized my internet router. I have 2 internet networks on my router. And I use the sketchy one, and I was so funny story. I was in a meeting on Saturday for one of our networks because my new position. I'm like external liaison. That's my new position. So it's like I deal with everything that's outside of the Belly Up, like all the companies we work with. And I had to deal with one. I was in one of these meetings with Blaine and Mike, and my internet kept going in and out for like 20 minutes. And I realized, oh, I'm on the shitty internet. Never mind. I pushed back over. And that's what happened with Shannon. I felt so bad afterward because 10 minutes after she got off, I logged on my Xbox as I'm trying to fucking edit this thing. And my Xbox is working fine. I'm talking to Kevin, no problems, and Pat. And I'm just like, the hell is going on here? This is atrocious. I'm so mad. I was like, I just lost an episode,
dude,
because of this shit.
Oh, you gotta listen to this week's Craft Brewed Sports because I was listening to it this week, and Burlon had a hissy fit like midway through the show because his two co-hosts were giving crap about his internet keep going out. His screen kept freezing, so he just left. He just got so pissed off he just left.
Have you ever done a show? Come on, with our boss. Have you ever done a show with our boss, Mike Brown? His internet. I mean, he's in the goddamn sticks, so basically you can't even see. Like it's more or less when it's gonna. We had Zach Mack back on the show. Yeah, and he sounded like he was underwater for half the damn recording. It was
between his connection and his mic. I'm not sure which is worse.
Oh my god.
But anywho,
let's keep rolling.
Wild card. All right, so let's start off with the top.
We both think Alabama's going to win on Monday, right?
Alabama's winning on Sunday.
Roll Tide.
I rolled Tide-ish, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. Let's
go.
All right, let's go. So start from the top. Indianapolis at Buffalo, 1:00 Eastern time, 1:05 start. Who you got and why?
All right, so here's the problem. I love the Colts. I love Phillip Rivers. I love that team. I love their identity. It's so nasty. It's gritty. I love it. Here's the problem. The Bills are my Super Bowl pick. And I love Josh Allen so much. I love the fact that he's been buried his entire career so far by that stooge I used to have as a co-host to everyone else who's buried him. And the worst part is I think he should win MVP this year over Rodgers. Really? I think he should. Or at least Derrick Henry should win it. And I just listen, Rodgers' hype, the Packers' hype is hysterical. And I'm praying Brady and the boys knock him off in the division round.
I'm praying that the Packers will leave early.
And I will be dancing on the Packers' grave, and it'll be hysterical.
So I don't have TikTok. If the Packers lose, I will do a dance.
Oh, you and me will do a dance together.
We'll have the dual screens, and we'll go through a dance
on the
together.
Korner Booth TikTok. Check it out.
Yes.
And we'll tag my former co-host. As much as she's such a sweetheart and she's a great girl, Oh my God, I can't stand Packers fans. They're the worst. And it's not even her, it's her fan base. Because Kevin loves to pick fights with them.
He does.
Oh my Lord. He lives rent-free in their head, honestly. But so with the I digress. With the Bills, I hate the Josh Allen hate. Also, the Bills are like one of those teams I always root for when my Eagles are on or my uncle's Raiders aren't on. It's the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I love Tennessee because of Derrick Henry. He's one of my favorite non-Eagles. The fact that he almost was an Eagle in 2017 or 18 still haunts me to this day. There was a trade rumored, and it was over draft picks. He wasn't an Eagle. As much as I love Miles Sanders, Derrick Henry's my boy. So it's like, yeah. So I gotta pick Buffalo. Dude, they dropped 56 on one of the best defenses in football last week.
They did.
Win or get in. In a win-or-get-in game, they dropped 56. Holy shit. It looked like watching a college game. Okay, so by the way, nobody talks about this. They resemble the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles so much, but unlike the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles, they're built off speed at the receiver position, not size. Where the Eagles had an Aguilar who was big for a slot receiver. Jeffrey, who was probably the best, at his peak, was probably the best high ball catch guy in the league, or at least top 3. They had Torrey Smith, who for a speed guy was big. They had Ertz and they had Brett Selleck, who were both monsters at tight end. And they had a committee at running back between Ajayi Blunt and Corey Clement. This Bills team closely resembles that in offense. You have an improviser quarterback with a cannon arm. You have a committee between Zach Moss and Singletary. And then you have the best route runner in the damn league in Stephon Diggs. You have John Brown, one of the most underrated deep threats in the NFL the last 10 years. 15 years, whatever he's been in the league for. And then you have the best.
I know, believe me, he haunted us last year in game 1, in week 1.
Yeah, and then you have the best slot receiver in football in John Brown. I mean, not John Brown, Cole Beasley. Who tied DK Metcalf for All-Pro. DK, nobody, not even Darius Slay can cover me Metcalf. Like, okay, by the way, DK Metcalf is like arguably like one of my favorite players in the NFL as well. Howie Roseman I will never forgive him for passing on him. Because Peterson and Wentz won in Metcalf.
I won't forgive Mike McCagan for passing on him either. He went with Jacal Polite, who is now a Ram. Couldn't even make it out.
Yeah, literally, this discussion was, hey, I want a jump ball guy. Hey, go get the guy who runs a 4.4 and is a jump ball guy. Never mind, no, don't go at him. But anyway, yeah, no, the Bills basically have so by the way, that defense woke up because they got Edmonds back. They're incredible. That defense is so fast and athletic. And unlike some of these teams, they have a number 1 corner. Yeah. They have a number 1 guy, and they have the best safety combination in the league between Poyer and Micah Hyde, whose career resurgence is incredible, by the way. So I got Buffalo here. I can't pick. Yeah. Rivers is going to turn the ball over too much to affect it.
Yeah, I mentioned this on No Credentials Required this week. I'm waiting. I mean, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a tighter game than people think. I think because the Colts have the best defense, one of the best defenses in the league. They're going against a team that, I mean, they had 3 losses this year.
Yeah.
They smoked against Tennessee. They played Kansas City tough, but ran out of gas at the end because they had to play, 2 games in 5 days.
But also Notre Dame Edmonds.
And they lost in a Hail Mary to Arizona, who is not in the playoffs.
I don't consider that a loss. I consider that DeAndre Hopkins being the best receiver in football. But
Hail Mary. But I don't feel like the Bills have. I don't think they've really been challenged this year. They need that kind of game to kind of say, okay, we've had it, especially in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah,
they've played out of their minds, especially offensively.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they need one of those games that kind of slap them in the face, or they have a team just punch them in the mouth right away, and to wake up.
Yeah,
and I think this is one of those games. I mean. As a Jets fan, I don't want the Bills to go far because it's the Bills, but at the same time, I'm happy the Patriots didn't win the division this year again.
We both, pal.
So I think the Bills win this one. It'll be a tougher than expected game, but I just said they have too much offensive firepower. Their defense is good enough to. I think Phil Rivers will throw one of his patented ill-timed interceptions.
That's what I'm betting on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a prop bet you need.
No, it definitely is. And my boys, our intern Samir was talking about this before, and I'm going to text him after the show. I want to know what the prop bet is on Philip Rivers' interceptions. Because there's got to be one about how many receiving yards Diggs is going to have. It's going to be how many rushing yards. Jonathan Taylor have, but like I want to know how many picks Captain Gunslinger himself, Philip Rivers, Mr. Bolo Tie. I want to know the prop. It's got to be at least 2 or 3. It's okay. Because against how athletic that secondary is, they got to have at least 2 or 3.
I found some prop bets from Philip Rivers.
Oh, I'm excited. I got to hear these.
All right, so passing yards above or below 262.5 passing yards.
Okay.
Passing touchdowns over under 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Passing attempts 36.5.
Sweet Jesus.
That's it. Unfortunately,
no picks. That's bullshit.
I want the interception.
I mean, like, here's the thing. It's like the guy gunslinger quarterback who's synonymous with interceptions. To me, besides Brett Favre, it's Philip Rivers. He still's got a cannon, but I don't know. I'm really feeling.
You know what my biggest fear is that Sam Darnold turns into the next Philip Rivers.
Oh, good Lord. I mean, at least you guys will make the playoffs. Something.
They gotta make the playoffs. I mean,
Rivers was also the problem is he doesn't have the Spanos family, who, as much as Woody Johnson could be a questionable owner, the Spanos family just finds ways to shoot themselves in the foot. Like the firing of Anthony Lynn is the dumbest thing I saw this offseason.
I was so what I got to write about that in my hot seat scale because I haven't done one yet. I've been working on some NHL stuff.
Yeah,
but my next one is like, why did they fire Anthony Lynn? I mean,
they won their last 4 games in a row. Honestly, it reminded me of a bunch of teams in 2016 who made the playoffs, who won the last 4 or 5 games in a row. Usually, teams who end the season like that start off the season next year kicking everyone in the teeth. I know we got to move on though, but who do you got as the Bills and Colts win? You got Bills.
I'm going with the Bills.
All right,
that's my pick.
I have obviously Bills. I have Bills win the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah. So next game is 4:40. LA, the Rams at Seattle. This one's gonna be ugly.
Oh, it's gonna be terrible because the problem is the Seahawks offense forgot how to score points, but their defense woke up. The problem is,
we don't know who's starting for the Rams this week.
I think Goff is starting. He's questionable. He's been limited all week, but he's gonna play. The problem is that thumb is gonna kill him. They're gonna run the ball a ton, and that plays right into Seattle's strength. Yeah, give me Seattle like in a 20-10 or 20-6 game. Yeah, they're gonna get. I'm calling DK gets 1 or 2 on Ramsey or whoever the hell's covering, or maybe Lockett goes off because Jalen can only cover one guy, and it's gonna come down to just basically the fact that the Rams can't move the ball.
Yeah, and good luck with their salary cap situation. They got money tied up in 3 guys.
I like between them in New Orleans, everyone's like, "Oh, Phillies is awful." I'm like, yeah, but they're not key guys. You can let them go. It's like New Orleans in LA are caught prisoner by the 3 best players.
Yeah. So I'm going with Seattle in this game. I'm thinking like a 17-7 type game. It's gonna be ugly. I don't know what the weather is going to be like in Seattle this weekend. I know the weather in Buffalo is not going to be too bad. There's going to be no snow, which is kind of disappointing because I wanted to see a snow game. And it's going to be in Buffalo. Dang.
Especially against a dome team.
Seattle?
No, I'm talking about it's Buffalo against the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills against the dome team.
Bills against the Colts, yeah. The Colts are a dome team, yeah. So, like, snow been incredible. But, yeah, I mean, most of those guys on the Colts are from northern cities or from northern colleges or from – yeah, so it doesn't really matter.
So Seattle, LA, that's gonna be an ugly affair. I get Seattle taking that game.
I kind of I'm having vibes of Blair Walsh's death game. I'm talking Teddy Bridgewater versus Russell Wilson, Seahawks Rams, the missed chip shot game. That's the vibes I'm getting off this game. It's gonna be ugly as hell, and it's gonna come out of somebody screwing up.
Somebody's gonna screw up. So next game, the nightcap for Saturday night, Tampa at the Washington football team. I will not crown them the Washington team football WTF anymore based on what happened this year. They're the Washington football team.
One, Alex Smith deserves to have the comeback player of the year award named after him. Like how the Walter Payton Award is named for Walter Payton because he was the greatest human being ever. Yeah. Also, his son
next to Jesus.
But I mean, also Walter Payton's son played for the greatest college of all time. So
we're played for the Montreal Alouettes and Toronto Argonauts in the CFL.
Oh, true. I don't see anywhere the Bucs loses because the problem is it's not even the fact that the Bucs have the Washington football team has an incredible pass rush.
They do. Their front four.
They have a top 3 defensive end right now in Chase Young.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem: their secondary is okay. Ronald Darby, my boy, former Eagle, Kendall Fuller, great corners. I mean, okay, they're good corners. Their safeties have played okay. Their linebacking core is pretty good. The problem is there's 6 guys you got to cover at all times on that team. The problem is Brady's made Scotty Miller a potential Pro Bowler. You've got 2 tight ends in OJ Howard and Gronk. You've got Ronald Jones, a top 10 running back. And then you've got the receiving core from hell with Evans, Godwin, and Antonio Brown and Scotty Miller.
Yeah.
And you have a top 10 offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't Philadelphia, pal. You're not getting home every play.
No.
So I got the Buccaneers here. The offense, the fact that they can't move the ball with Alex Smith is going to kill them.
Yeah, I have the Buccaneers too, and the reason why is because I think early you're going to see Washington get to Tom Brady. Because he's not mobile. We're the same age. Actually, I don't know if you know this. I think we're 11 days apart in age.
Ryan, you look younger than Tom Brady. It's okay.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I think you need to grow
the Irish baby face. That's what it is.
You need to listen from one beard lover to another. I cut my beard off because I wanted a fresh start for 2020. I think you and me both need to just get our beards long and majestic.
See, I'm trying to get back in the dating game. I know girls like the fresh, the clean cut kind of look.
You need to get out in New York, man, because once you get out in New York, girls like the beard, man. I'm getting some weird looks with my goatee now.
See, I need to get a tattoo because I get that T-shirt that says chubby and bearded and tattooed and awesome.
I mean, I got 3 so far, but I should have my full sleeve done by the end of the year. But
yeah, I'm hoping first quarter I'll be able to get mine. I know a gal who's
I will warn you. It's not the outline that's gonna hurt. It's the shading. That's all I'll tell you.
Okay, gotcha.
So a guy who's got a half sleeve and a tribal and a authentic tribal, which means they went below the skin, a fat layer to get it done. Yeah, it's not fun.
See, I'm not going that far. I'm just going on my wrist, doing Psalm 23:4 in Hebrew right here.
Nice.
That's it.
Okay,
that's it.
I mean, I have this whole lightning mural on my left arm, so there's that.
Proper.
Also, white. Yeah, there we go. Let's get rolling here.
So I've got going back to my point about Washington. I think they'll get to Tom Brady early because Tom Brady's not mobile, but eventually I think the one thing that Tom Brady always does is that he helps his coaches make adjustments.
Yeah,
and he finds a way to win games just by reading defenses. He reads defenses so well, and I think he's going to do that kind of thing with against Washington. I think they move on. I think they win by at least a touchdown.
I'm calling almost 2 because I think the problem is at the end of the day, once they take away the run from Washington, they're not going to be able to move the ball down.
If they win by more than 10, I won't be surprised. I think they pull away in the fourth quarter and they go to Green Bay and they beat Green Bay, and we have our NFC Championship. So moving on to Sunday's games. First off, Baltimore at Tennessee, 1:00 game. Who you got?
I got Tennessee, and the line to me makes no sense because Baltimore, everyone's kissing Baltimore's butt right now because they're the hot team coming in. They beat the hell out of I don't even know who the hell. I think they played Cincinnati. By the way, screw you, Baltimore. You cost us the number 5 pick. Here's the issue that I have with Baltimore. Okay, so on film, I was telling the story on the Korner Booth podcast and chill episode, I think 6 now. We were doing it before, and I said on film, I watched the progression reads from Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. Guess who makes more reads before they run the ball?
Lamar Jackson.
Nope. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts will go, and Chris Collins was actually, I got to give him credit. As much as he drives everyone nuts, he's one of the smartest guys in football. He's the opposite of Booger McFarland. This guy literally said it, and I quote, he goes, Jalen Hurts will go progressions 1 through 5, and anyone plays quarterback. I play quarterback in the adult league right now. It is you look for your primary read, and then you go across, and then after that, you're like, all right, screw, I'm running. And if you have that kind of time, and Jackson has that kind of time. He'll go 1-2 run 80% of the time. And to me, his inability to throw the ball at a proficient level, I think Tannehill's a better passer, obviously. And Tannehill has better weapons outside. So to me right now, if it happens, because the Titans also know how to get in Baltimore's head. Like John Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel don't like each other already. Kevin and Pat already predicting a slugfest at midfield by the end of the game. If the Titans do exactly what they did last year, they're fine. Even if they don't, they still might win. The problem is to me is that Tennessee is the more complete team. Tennessee is the more motivated team. Tennessee also just came off of one of the most gut-wrenching wins of all time against one of their rivals and gets their first AFC South title in God knows how long. So they're hype as hell right now. I think it's their first one since the Chris Johnson days. They're rolling and they want this. And so they're the only team besides Buffalo in the AFC, I think, who's just as hungry. Kansas City, I feel like, is just like, yeah, we won last year. It's going to be great. Let's repeat. It's going to be fun and have fun. And they're going to play either Baltimore or Kansas City. I mean, a Baltimore and Buffalo get punched in the mouth. Tennessee, to me, is one of those teams that's gritty. But unlike Indy, Mr. McCarthy, they can throw the ball down the field. That throw to A.J. Brown at the end of the game last week proved to me Tannehill's a top 10 quarterback because only top 10 quarterbacks are going to hit that window on a seam route at 50 yards. That ball was beautiful. That is like, if you're going to teach a kid how to play quarterback, you show them that damn ball because that was beautiful.
Well, we have our first disagreement.
There you go.
So I'll tell you the two primary reasons why I think the Ravens will take this game. Revenge and more revenge. I think the Ravens, they're getting healthy. They got healthy at the right time. They're over their COVID issues. Yeah, they had a softer schedule for their last 5 games of the year. They needed a lot of help to get in the playoffs. They needed the Dolphins to lose. But they beat the Browns, who's a playoff team. They beat the Giants, who could have been a playoff team, well, kind of soft-handedly.
Giants fans are dead to me at this point after this week.
Yeah,
they're the biggest crybabies in sports.
Win more than 6. I need to get my brother's opinion about that because I got to talk to him about that because he's a Giants fan. I personally think the Giants are trending up for a myriad of reasons, mostly because of their head coach.
I love Judge, except for his
comments. Joe, he's awesome. I like him. I like him a lot.
All I'm saying in that game is win more than 6 games, then start complaining. All
right, they'll win 7 next year and still keep complaining. But I think the Ravens, besides the fact that they're rolling, they've won 5 in a row. Yeah, they haven't played a caliber team like the Titans. They lost to the Titans. They lost to the Titans in week 12? Excuse me, or week 10. Yeah. But they're over their COVID issues. They're healthy. I think they're motivated by the fact that they got beat last year in the divisional playoff when they had that excellent season. But they went up falling on their faces because the Titans literally ran all over them. Mm-hmm. And I think they're motivated just enough. And the Titans beat them earlier this year. So I think they're doubly motivated to go out and get a measure of revenge against the Titans. I think revenge motivates. So you see it in movies. Kill Bill. Kill Bill is the ultimate.
Tarantino. I love Tarantino movies, so good pick. But here's the thing. Stop 22. Talk to me after you stop 22.
Oh, absolutely. You got to keep him up. If the Ravens keep him off the field.
Only 3 teams were able to stop him this year. The guy ran for 2,000 damn yards. He's the most dominant running back since Adrian Peterson. Baltimore has not proven to me they can stop the run this year to that elite level.
No, but if they can keep him off the field, they're okay. They're in good shape.
Yeah. That's also I think Tennessee's defense is so slept on. Yeah, they had a rough season, but they're also the most athletic defense in the AFC. So, as I said,
so this is where our first disagreement. So I got the Ravens. Jared's got the Titans. All right, next game.
I'm half.
Next game, Chicago at New Orleans, the 4:40 afternoon game.
I have New Orleans begrudgingly because I can't stand the Saints and their fan base. But I love the Saints.
Cruz, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
Oh, Cruz knows this. Cruz knows I love the city of New Orleans. Cruz knows I love partying there. I love the food there. I can't stand Saints players. I actually don't mind their fans that much. I can't stand Alvin Kamara as a person. I respect him so much as his talent. I just can't stand him as a person. Drew Brees, he's kind of a whiner to me. Sean Payton's a tool. Mike Thomas is the biggest crybaby in football. The slant king himself. That's all he runs, by the way. If you look at his efficiency rating, his efficiency drops anytime he goes past 20 yards on a route. The biggest thing to me is this game is I made this weird conspiracy theory on our show. Watch Nick Foles comes trotting out to start in the playoffs, and his playoff Nick comes roaring back, and the Bears fan like that's the only way the Bears are winning. And Nick Foles comes back to playoff for him because Mr. Trubisky sucks, man. I'm sorry, Trubisky's terrible. He won back the starting job, but here's the issue: it's that their defense is great, but the Saints can score 16 different ways. The only way they're winning is if Foles comes trotting out, throws 5 touchdown passes, and Khalil Mack knocks the daylights out of both quarterbacks. That's basic. And like, because it can be on Nickelodeon, you're going to see their eyes pop out on replay or something crazy like that. And the slime's going to come out on the camera. That's basically it. I'm sorry. Like, the problem is the Bears, like, back their butt into this playoffs. They're the only team that would have been a legitimate, actual matchup for them was if, like, Arizona made it over them.
Yeah, the Bears are the biggest mystery in the last part of the season because they scored 30 points plus over 30 points in 4 straight games, winning 3, losing 1. Somehow Matt Nagy figured out how to work Mitchell Trubisky.
Maserati Mitch.
What's that?
Maserati Mitch.
Yeah, right. Somehow, I mean, Matt Nagy may not be the head coach after this season anyway.
I mean, I think
Trubisky might not be the quarterback.
I think the fact they made the playoffs saves it, but like we're hearing rumblings right now about Deshaun Watson requesting a trade because they didn't even ask him about who he wants for GM or coach. So he's heated about that. I mean, he's your franchise quarterback, and he's the only reason you guys won 4 games this year. He's the only reason you guys have hope. Like, to me, I understand that. Like, you guys are dealing half your defense in the offseason anyway. Watch for guys like Zach Cunningham and all these boys get dealt. My biggest issue is with the Bears is that Mitch can't do it, man. He lost Foles once already. Now Foles did. That's the only way. I just think the Saints just have too much gas. They'll knock him out. Unless Nick Foles comes in and starts working his voodoo magic, there's no way it's going to work.
No, I'm the same boat as you. I'm taking New Orleans in this game. But it's just going to be so weird if the Bears somehow keep up with the Saints.
Or if they make the game ugly, that's the only way I can see them winning.
Yeah, because their defense is good enough to do that, but the Saints' offense is just they're like top 5, top 10 level.
I will say this game smells like an upset to me. It's not going to be, but if there was a game that smelled like an upset, this is the one that smells like it. Because I don't consider Tennessee over Baltimore an upset. I consider that as Vegas's line being absolute bullshit. But like this one, I looked at this game 4 times and I'm like, the only way they're winning this is they make it ugly or Nick Foles comes in with the Rocky music blaring as he walks into the field.
By God, that's Nick Foles' music.
Yeah, but Sean Payton dribbling.
Yeah, but he trading beers.
Yeah, cigarette hanging out of his mouth like we're about to do this.
Yeah, I New Orleans is my NFC pick to go to the Super Bowl, so I'm picking them for obvious reasons. But yeah, definitely has that inkling of upset.
Mine, I don't really have an NFC favorite for the Super Bowl because I'm just rooting for a complete battle royale cluster F of wins and losses, and somebody gets smoked by Buffalo and Tampa Bay. That's all I care about.
My Super Bowl pick was Kansas City, New Orleans. That was my pick.
Oh God, I would hate the Super Bowl because one of you rooting so hard for Kansas City, it make my head hurt. That big red a second title. I love Andy Reid is like a saint to me.
Hey,
one more game.
One more game. The nightcap. Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Oh, this is my only other upset. Oh,
This hurts. This hurts me a lot because of Kevin Stefanski having to battle the Rona.
But here's the thing: it's like Pat, our marketing wizard, is our running joke nickname for him, said this perfectly. The Steelers are the softest team in the NFC and the AFC. They are literally melted mozzarella cheese, man. They are terrible.
And they backed into this AFC Central.
Okay, listen. Here's okay, they have a great pass rush, by the way. But the problem is they're back. They got punked by Travis Fulgham. 1, 2. They went down to the wire against my trash Eagles offense. If it wasn't for a blown coverage on Chase Claypool, they would have lost that game.
They lost to the football team.
They lost
to a team with no name.
They lost to the damn Bengals with Ryan Finley. Ryan Finley, okay? The only Finley I recognize is Steve or Michael. That's it. Oh my God. Or Chuck. Yeah. I don't even know where I know that name from.
I've got Pittsburgh winning barely, but I could see Cleveland winning too.
Oh, see, Kevin went on this glorious rant last night about the Steelers about the Browns, and it flipped my pick. I don't think the Browns are going to get past the divisional rounds, but I think this is something about the Browns in their first playoff entrance, unlike Buffalo,
where they
got hosed the first year they made the playoffs. They took on the Jaguars. They were screwed. They were playing the team that honestly should have played Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. They were playing the Super Bowl bound team in the AFC. The Patriots lucked out on a bullshit holding call.
Yeah.
And Nick Foles was Karma's agent there. But I will say that the Browns have a great run attack. The Steelers can't stop the run. Miles Sanders proved that exponentially. But the Eagles only have one top 10 back, top 5 potentially. The Browns have possibly 2 top 10 backs. So yeah. Also Baker, if they get that play action rolling, he's lethal. Just ask Tennessee how that went.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I think the matchup would be Tennessee versus them in the next rounds. But yeah, give me the Browns here. I think that this is like that same scenario that McAfee was talking about. The Colts let the Jets in one year, and then the Jets punched them in the mouth. So yeah,
back in the day.
The Browns are this year's 20. What was
2010 Jets?
The Browns are this year's 2010 Jets. I'm thinking they're not going to get to the divisional, the championship, but they're going to get to the divisional, and they're going to punch Pittsburgh in the mouth. Pittsburgh was so soft this year, and they're finally going to reap what they sowed.
I mean, I've got Pittsburgh only just because they're at home. That's the primary reason why. But like I said, I could see Cleveland winning this game.
I want to see Juju do something stupid on TikTok pregame. I fucking hate Juju.
No, he's already said it's like I'm not doing that stuff anymore.
See, you know what? He corrupted Chase Claypool, which is the worst. Because I love Chase Claypool. I loved him out of college. I said this kid's the next.
Yeah, I wanted Claypool as a Jet.
I wanted Claypool as an Eagle instead of Jalen Hurts. We didn't have a shot because Pittsburgh reached on him. He was projected 3rd rounder. And Pittsburgh's like, yeah, we want Chase Claypool as our first pick. I'm like, huh?
Is the stat of Claypool having more TikTok videos than receptions still a thing?
It was until last week.
Okay, because that still makes me laugh.
No, the other one was I think Juju has more TikToks than he's had receiving yards in the game this year. That one is still true.
Yeah, I think the stat is for me and Tom Brady is that Tom Brady has I've eaten as many hot dogs in 1 year as Tom Brady has career touchdowns. I don't know, something like that. But
that many hot dogs scare me.
Hitting good hot dogs like Nathan's or Sabrett's.
I'm a brats and sausage guy. I try to avoid hot dogs as much as possible. But yeah, no. So that's why I got for. I think Cleveland's going to pull this one out, and I think Browns. Oh, by the way, next group of fans that annoy me irritably are besides the Cowboys and Packers are Browns fans. Like, God, shut up. We get it, you're miserable, but at least Jets fans do it respectfully.
It's true. We do shrink into a corner after a certain point in the season.
I have so many friends who are Jets fans too. Like, I want to see you guys win because I have so many good friends. Like, I've never met a Jets fan who I want to knock the F out. Like,
there are a few of us. There are a few of us.
I almost fought those few when I went to an Eagles-Jets game in 2015. When the Chip Kelly Eagles and Ryan Matthews beat you guys to a pulp.
Yeah.
I don't remember the first. I was a drunk college kid. Are you kidding me? I was ready to fight anybody that game. I was walking in there with my
in college.
my Brian Dawkins throwback jersey on. I walked in there. Me and my buddies who were Jets fans. We're like, you know, we started tailgating at 9:00 in the morning in the parking lot. So
like you do.
Oh yeah, no, I was sharing how I was cooking for Eagles fans. We were playing football. It was great time, a great experience. And then we get in the stadium, and half my section is trying to fight me. And then 3 seconds over, a guy in a Stuart Bradley jersey is trying to knock out 2 Jets fans. And I'm just like, this is great.
The last Jets game I went to was my buddy Dustin. He's a Seahawks fan. His boss is a Jets fan. I guess he knew some people who were Jets season ticket holders. And not only did we get free Jets tickets, we also got free parking. Ooh. So we didn't have to worry about any of that stuff.
MetLife parking's the worst, too.
Oh, MetLife parking is terrible.
We parked, I think, 16 spots out, and we still were like,
where are we?
We were basically in Wayne, New Jersey at that point. I could have come up and high-fived my family members who live out in that area.
Yeah, you're in the East River at that point. You're heading towards the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, gosh.
We were like basically halfway to Pennsylvania by the time we got to the parking lot. I was like, what the hell is up with this stuff? I hate MetLife so much. And it's the only place I've ever gone to.
It's so sterile. It's so sterile, too.
I went the second year it was a thing. I went in 2008 when the Eagles took on the Giants in the divisional rounds. Mm-hmm. With the Asante Samuel pick 6 game with McNabb doing the phone call. That was my first game, by the way. It was incredible. The atmosphere there was ridiculous. But I'm not a fan of MetLife. I want to go see. I was supposed to go see my game at the Link this year too. Cowboys Eagles at the Link, and thanks COVID.
Yeah, right.
I mean, listen,
I was supposed to see Jets Broncos.
Yeah, honestly, this kind of saved me from the annoyance that game was. I had to cover that game for Collide, and I just wanted to shut my damn phone off. I was so annoyed. Like as much, I don't know what our situation with Collide is right now. But like, I hate. The one thing about games, the reason I don't want to ever be a play-by-play guy is because I hate watching games and having to talk about it.
Well, here with Collide. Here's the thing: we're doing a hockey watch party.
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for that too.
As a guy who only watches hockey the second the playoff starts, I will try to at least watch a couple games. The Winter Classic in playoffs is all I watch for hockey. But
yeah, I mean the Winter Classic is basically the over the hill point of the regular season.
Yeah,
because all that's there is just a race to the playoffs. And this year, 56 game schedule with weird divisions, the alignments, it's gonna be a fun year.
Go Pens!
I can't wait.
Go Pens!
Let's go Devils!
Penguins, baby, let's rock!
Hey, one of the Slapshot Sweethearts is a Penguins fan, man.
I know. I've never met her. I've met her co-host has texted me 3,000 times about various BS that happens at Belly of Sports because we're both leadership. But apparently I've heard she's a Penguins fan. So,
Pitter patter,
and Mr. McCarthy, you are the father of the hockey department now. Hopefully you don't piss me off like the last department head did.
I'm hands off, man.
Yeah, KJ's still on my hit list.
Oh boy,
I'll tell you off screen why he's on my hit list, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I'm hands off. I'm friendly. I'm affable.
Brian, getting mad. I still feel bad the time I got mad at you about trying to use What's on Tap. I still feel horrible. Brian, it's impossible to get mad at
Kev gave me so much crap. It was hysterical.
Can you ever figure this out by now? Me and Kev are the meanest dudes in the podcast network. We will just fight anybody on site. So, like, the problem is I felt horrible afterward because I met you. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so nice. I just yelled at him. I yelled at a damn pastor over text message. I am a horrible human being.
I didn't listen to that. The one a couple weeks ago, I was still digging myself out of like 3 feet of snow. I was listening to Korner Booth pregame, and you said, "Oh, he's so nice. He probably farts like and smells nice." I'm like, "Yeah, it's like cinnamon and rainbows."
I said, "You fart butterflies and shit gold bricks," and then like, and I
fart cinnamon, and I
literally said that about 3 people in my life. One of them was my coworker, who I literally said that in front of my boss. My boss, who never laughed at anything, almost cried himself to sleep. He was laughing more. He couldn't stop laughing because it's the thing is like I am such a grungy, angry. I'm not angry all the time. I'm actually pretty goofy, but like I have a mean streak, and when you step in my path, my mean streak kicks up. And the problem is, I must have been in a bad mood that time. I yelled. I just attacked you on Slack.
I just couldn't be in my territory, God.
I get very territorial. So, like, that's a warning to all you belly up personnel, by the way. Yeah, I'm super territorial. But like I'm usually pretty chilled and laid back. And Kevin and me are both just in a bad mood, I guess. And we both just went at Ryan. And I felt
I
so
thought it was
bad.
an original idea for me. That's why I was like, so
know,
like what the hell?
I think I messaged you 4 or 5 times on Slack apologizing.
You did. Both of you did.
I think also I think Blaine also said to me, like, dude, you apologize. And I'm like, yeah, I did. I felt like a horrible human being. And I was just and I mean, like, I'm a good Catholic boy, and I just cussed out a pastor. Like, fuck, I'm screwed.
Worse things have happened to me, Jared. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. I was just sitting there like, holy shit. Oh, my God. I am going to hell.
Not my judgment call.
Yeah, I know. I also one time I said to my father, who I consider basically like this, I consider my father like a saint. This man, he's the other person I consider shits, gold bricks, and farts, butterflies. My neighbors and friends call him Pope Marcus. So I love my father dearly. He's one of the most devoted Catholics I've ever met in my life. And he's a great role model, but he's the only he one time said to me, he goes, I don't know if my ticket's punched. I'm like, if your ticket ain't punched, send me to the fireplace. I'm done. Like, it ain't worth it. Because I am a horrible human being compared to you. And you're like,
I have to tell you this story. Speaking of popes, so my first year as a chaplain, as a hockey chaplain with the Albany River Rats, I come walking in the. I usually this is what I usually do. I go into the main office. I say my hellos, be like, hey, I'm here, with Hockey Ministries International. I'm here to see the boys today. Like, oh, okay. We'll call someone up and they'll walk you down. No problem. So one time I walk in and the secretary's there. She's sweetheart of a gal. And I walk in, I'm like, hi, I'm chaplain with Hockey Ministries International. Oh, hello, Father. And she gets up and she like genuflexes. I'm like, whoa. Wait a second. She genuflex. I'm like, this is awkward.
I mean, like, it's so.
If I had a ring, I'd be like, kiss the ring.
The worst part is, so like one of my day jobs, I'm a mover, and so I had to move my old one of the sisters from my church, and my former like Catholic priest from my church walks up and goes, Jared, how are you? I'm like, holy shit, Father Dom, how are you? And he goes, I'm a fucking priest. I'm like, damn it. And he's just looking at me laughing. And I'm just like sitting there working my tail off because, of course, him and the sister were like lifelong friends. And they live in the same like area of this old folks community in my town. And I'm moving the sister with me in this like, ironically, these two guys, and they're felons. And they're hysterical human beings, but they're felons. It's always a funny joke when you've got 2 felons and a kid who, hasn't really fulfilled his potential yet. Moving a sister or a priest, it's always a funny joke. So I'm sitting there laughing my tail off because I just cussed 3 times in front of a priest, and he didn't recognize me first, but between the beard and the long hair, and it was hysterical. But oh my God, it's like 3rd time today. I'm sorry, big guy. But it's. Oh my God, that was funny.
I gotta say, like, there are the types of people. I mean, we're getting off on a tangent here, away from sports, but we're going into religion, which is one of those topics you don't talk about at Thanksgiving dinner. But
or politics. That's a time bomb that me and my dad know to avoid around some of my relatives.
Yeah. So it's just like it's funny. Like you either meet the most uptight, stick up your butt people, or meet people like me who are like, yeah, I have a sense of humor. I drink a beer every once. I drink beer. I might cuss every so often. I'll have chicken wings with you. I'll play darts. Like, That's what Jesus did. He just hung around. And
it was like that's what we all try to reflect as Christians. But the worst thing is like I am the opposite. I cuss all the time. I drink. Probably definitely more than Ryan does. I smoke cigars and sometimes the devil's
cigars too, man.
I smoke cigars and the devil's lettuce. I have a tendency to be, if I get provoked, to be possibly a fighter if I have to be. I
have friends like that. It's okay.
You know what? I try to be a good person, but nobody's perfect. That's the whole thing. The only person is perfect. Die for sins. That's what our whole religion is based off of. And we ended up talking religion in this show. I think I cussed about 25 times on this show, and we talked religion by the end of it. That's how it is.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, my friend.
I think every time I come on your show, just drop the chaos grenade and we'll just get rolling. That's how it's gonna go.
Bring it.
All right. Fair enough. I got some chili coming my way, so I'm excited for that.
Awesome. Well, before we get into your chili, Jared, we're gonna do a partnership shout out to our friends at Hoff and Pepper Hot Sauce.
So good. They actually sell it, by the way, at the supermarket by my house.
Really?
Yeah. A shout out to Market 32 in Oxford for selling it. I'm excited.
We were Market 32 and everywhere up here now. They replaced Price Chopper. Let's look to see if they have it there. But partnership shout out Hoff and Pepper Hot Sauce. This show is always brought to you by Hoff and Pepper Hot Sauce, handcrafted with farm fresh jalapenos and habaneros. Hoff's original hot sauce has gone on to win numerous awards and gained international recognition. Hoff and Pepper always strives to create sauces and seasonings that enhance flavors with balanced heat profiles. Every one of their handmade products is manufactured in Chattanooga, Tennessee. God bless you, Tennessee. And is naturally vegan and gluten-free. So if you're into that kind of thing, get yourself some hot sauce. Shop today at hoffpepper.com. When you enter Belly Up at checkout, there's a promo code there at the bottom of the screen. You'll save 10% off your order. And I got my friends some of their sample flasks for Christmas, the 4-pack.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They love it.
Okay, so I got to give a shout to Hoff and Pepper, actually, because I bought their holiday 4-pack for my the newest member of the family, my cousin's husband. And he loves Kraft hot sauce. He was so excited. He texted me like a 15-paragraph message about it. And I got a shout out to Cameron in customer service. Dude reached out to me because I dropped my bell. I think I dropped my belly up email. He's like, okay, these guys.
Cameron's a gal.
Cameron's a gal. Okay, sweet Cameron. Then I am sorry for confusing this guy. My gal Cameron, she was great. I reached out to her and I said, listen, by some miracle, it was stuck. By the way, U.S. Postal Service, you're on my shit list now. It was stuck in Tennessee on their shipping website, like where like your package tracking, because they want you to pay for their package tracking thing now. So they basically, I think, intentionally screw up that whole website because they said it was in Chattanooga until the 22nd. It was at my house on the 23rd. I had to drive this thing up to my grandparents' house to make sure this kid got it in time. I had to double back, and like if you know Connecticut highways, Route 8 is a nightmare.
Connecticut driving is a mess.
Oh yeah, no, it makes New York driving look like a breeze. But yeah, no. So I gotta give a shout to
my beer, by the way.
My gal Cameron and customer service for reaching out to me. I don't know if it was because I dropped the belly up email or whatever, but she hit me up within 30 minutes of that message the next morning because I messaged them at like 11 o'clock at night because I'm a DGen, and they were like 7:45 in the morning. I got an email from them, and she said, "Listen, we're doing all we can, but the U.S. Postal Service is still on their hands, and screw USPS. UPS is better because." I'm literally about to leave for the gym on the day before Christmas Eve, Ryan, and I get my sister yells and says, "Jared, guess what came?" And I'm like, "No fucking way!"
No way.
I'm like, God damn, I gotta drive now. I gotta do it. I didn't get home till like 10 o'clock at night. I was so mad. But I'm like, you know what? In the Christmas spirit, this kid's getting his gift on Christmas. That's good. That's fine with me. So.
So shout out to Hoff and Pepper, excellent sauces.
Get
their smoked ghost. It is out.
Their green sauce is my favorite.
Smoked pepper for me. It's awesome.
See, the problem is the ghost. As much as I love heat, if I'm gonna do heat, I gotta prep for heat. This one, the green's my favorite. The jalapeno sauce is my favorite.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, before we get out of here, I'm going to just say let's connect at facebook.com/BellyUpSportsAFTW, Twitter and Instagram at BellyUpAFTW, YouTube. It's AFTW Belly Up. Jared, want to give us your socials real quick?
All right, follow my degenerate butt at Belly Up Jared, as it says on the screen. Follow at Korner Booth Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Yes, we have a TikTok, and now that our intern's finally running it, thank God, we actually will have more content. We also have a YouTube, by the way, Korner Booth Pod. We're going to start posting videos more and more. I actually might do a sneaker, since I am a big sneakerhead, love Jordans, Nikes, everything else. Me and Parker of FN Sports are thinking about doing some sneakerhead content. It'd be fun for all you sneakerheads out there. Dude got married in custom Jordan 11s. He earned my infinite respect for that. That's my dream, by the way. To my future wife, you're gonna learn this. I'm wearing custom Jordans for our wedding.
I actually have a friend who did that. I have a friend who did that for he and his bride got Jordan. Oh. They got Jordans and they wore them at their wedding.
Don't tempt me, man, because that's gonna ruin my marriage right there.
Mrs. Billy Up Jared, if you're listening.
Yeah. I doubt she's listening. All right. Yeah. And also follow my degenerate co-host at Pat Donahue and at Belly Up Kev or whatever. He changes his name every 45 seconds, but it's
that Belly Up Kev is the channel.
His title
went from like sad Red Sox and Pats fan to like McCorkle Stan account. Who's McCorkle?
I don't know. I'm the best friends with the kid for 2 years. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
I'm one of the older guys at Belly Up Sports. What the crap is a Stan? What does a Stan do? Is it like a fan?
I'm his best friend. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. That's just how messed up this kid is.
You're supposed to be his interpreter for me, Jared.
Also follow his new podcast, which I'm so proud of him for. The kid came into me barely knowing how to do broadcast stuff. He's a certified host now with Tailgate on the Quad. Hysterical show. He just did a show with Parker of FN Sports last week. It was hysterical. He's doing a show this week for the national title game. Hopefully, Big Boss Mike doesn't stand him up. It's gonna be a good show. So, shout out to plug to my boy.
And I'm putting the things together for another Belly Up hockey podcast. In addition to Slapshot Sweethearts, they had a Nesson guy this week. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it was a very good podcast. He actually worked for both the Flyers and the Devils, and good on him because he was there when the Devils went to the playoffs for the first time back in '88. I remember that run too. I was 10 years old.
Last cup was what? 03?
2003.
The fact that I remember that's impressive. I can't stand hockey. It's not I can't stand hockey. It's like hockey is my fifth sport, and the problem is once you get to like past 3 or 4, it's like who won it this year?
Tampa won it this year.
No, I know that, but like all I know is all that matters is my Pens went back to back. That's all that matters.
Well, my Devils took 3. Have taken 3 cups since 1995, and the Rangers have not taken 1 since 1994. So, oh wow!
I hate the New York Rangers, so that's one thing we can agree on. I love how Rangers fans despise me. By the way, it's just they're like, "You're not even a real hockey fan." I'm like,
still a fan.
Still a fan. I'm not a big fan. Like, listen, my Eagles, I deep eat, sleep, and breathe Philadelphia Eagles and Miami Hurricanes and Arizona Diamondbacks. But like after that, my Timberwolves, my Penguins, and North Carolina college basketball, I'm kind of just there towards the end.
Well, on that note, folks, that will do it for this edition, the longest edition of A Round for the Weekend ever.
I don't shut up. That's why.
Why? Exactly. Hey, I don't mind. It kills time. So thanks, folks, for joining us. I appreciate it. And until next time, I'll save you seat at the pub. Jared, thanks for joining me. Really do appreciate it. Oh, this one's empty, but cheers anyway.
I had 1 sip left anyway, so.
Thanks, folks. Have a great weekend.